Okay, good afternoon, folks. Good afternoon. Hopefully, you're well. Let's have a look. Hopefully, I'm coming through okay. We have just gone live, so hopefully, you're hearing me okay. Hopefully, you can see me okay. Here we are again. It's Friday afternoon. Gosh, don't the weeks fly by these days? Someone let me know if I'm coming through okay. It'd be good to make sure that I am broadcasting and not just talking to myself. Welcome to this week's weekly live stream. We try and pick a sort of like a news event to do a little bit of a trivia and a bit of a giveaway. So this week I picked retail sales, maybe not the most important number of the week. Obviously, we had CPI out in the week, which I think was maybe a little bit more important than retail sales, but it was straight after the Monday stream, so I thought I'd space it out a little bit. So we're doing retail sales, and as you know, this always includes a prize giveaway. Today is no different. Hi, Aaron. Hi, Rahim. Good to see you. Simir Hill. Good to see you. Hopefully, you're doing well. Okay, so we'll get into the nuts and bolts of retail sales in a moment. But let me first off start off by talking about a quiz that we do. Okay, so basically, I'm going to talk about retail sales in general terms over the next, say, 10 minutes or so, 15 minutes about why it's important and why it's not important. And then I'm going to reveal 3 questions. Okay, and you've got, and then I'll drop a form in the chat here. You've got a chance to win a $12,500 assessment account if you get the questions correct. If everyone gets the questions correct, then it will be the first one. If no one gets all 3 right, it will be the first one to get 2 right, and you can work out the rest. What's the forecast? I'll tell you what the forecast is for retail sales. These are the forecasts at the moment. Up 0.6 and the core is up 0.3. Difference between the retail sales sort of flatline figure and the core figure basically is the core figure is more widely used. It sort of basically strips out the volatile component, like strips out cars, autos, and the like. But those are the numbers that we are expecting today. So I'll basically go over a few facts beforehand, and then I'll drop the questions in. Then you can drop your answers in, and I say the first one to get all 3 questions correct wins the $12,500. Rahim, I won the giveaway of gold price guessing this week, but I haven't received the giveaway. Okay, I'll check that. I can't remember who won now. It was for Monday. Were you on the stream on Monday, Rahim? Were you on the stream? And had you ticked the box where you didn't want to receive emails, which basically meant that we can't send the email out. So if you weren't on the stream, we couldn't contact you. I don't know, but let me know. Send me an email. I'll check it after, Rahim, and check it for you. Anyway, I've got all the entrants still here. So there you go. S. Martin, good to see you. Good to see you in the stream. I don't think we've seen you before. But there you go. So retail sales, as I say, is not the most important number of the week. We've got much more going on really at the moment with the US dollar, and of course this afternoon we've got the Russian President Putin and the US President Trump meeting in Alaska. That's going to be much more important. Retail sales, generally speaking, I mean it's like an inflation number. Retail sales basically measures the what the consumers are spending on the high street. It's consumer spending sort of gauge, and of course, if consumers are spending more, then it basically means that prices are going up, and if prices go up, then obviously inflation goes up, and if inflation goes up, interest rates, in theory, should go up. Now, you know what the markets are expecting at the moment in terms of inflation. We're expecting, so in terms of interest rates, the markets are expecting a drop in interest rates at the next meeting, and this number will just go into the sort of like the cauldron or the melting pot of all the data for the Fed to gauge. So it is a number that we used to look at quite a lot, but I'd say there's more pressing stuff going on at the moment in terms of, well, I think it really is all about about job numbers.
Keep in mind that US CEA chair.
If you follow the non-farm payroll report, or we streamed it live a couple of weeks ago, it was this day last week actually. Non-farm payroll came in lower than it's 2 weeks ago, wasn't it? Came in lower than expected, but the revisions on the non-farm payroll were really low, basically showing that the job market is in a bit of a situation there at the moment where they might need to stimulate it. To stimulate growth, they need to cut interest rates. So the potential for them to cut interest rates now at the next meeting has massively increased. Okay, it's massively increased from, I think it was last week, it was around a month ago, it's 54%. Look down here. And now we're expecting a 92% chance of a cut of on the 17th of September, which is the next meeting. So that's pretty much priced in. Now I'm hearing analysts talking about maybe having a super duper 50 basis point cut. Okay. And Powell's been banging on at Trump's been banging on at Powell, the Fed governor, to cut interest rates, calling him all the names that you can imagine to get him to cut interest rates. So the dollar has been coming under pressure in the financial markets because of the rate expectations. So if this number comes in today really low, if the number comes in much lower than where we are at the moment, expecting a 0.3 on the core, then you could expect to see the chances of a rate cut even become more likely, maybe rising up from 92%. So these numbers are basically an inflationary driven number, but it's not the main one that we focus on. Right, Azar, hello to you. Hopefully you're doing well. And you can take this tool out right out to December. If you look at December now, so by the end of the year, there's a 43% chance that there will be 3 cuts. So that will start increasing these two numbers now, because pretty much next meeting is in the market, but it's the speed of the cuts going forward. It's one of the reasons why the US dollar has had such a horrid start to the year. This month alone, the dollar is down about 2.5%, down over sort of like 15% for the course of this year. So the dollar really has been moving steadily lower, which is only to be expected because it moved steadily higher when we had rates going up. And of course that dollar against the yen, where there's a big carry trade, there's a lot of dollar trades there that need reversing, which you will no doubt see over the next few months. Okay, right. Are we all ready then? Do you think the meeting will have a huge impact? I'm going to talk about this in a moment, actually. Yeah, I think this is quite a big event today. Okay, it could go really bad, in which case Trump walks out and then starts slamming Putin and what have you, in which case there's not going to be another meeting. And the best outcome is that, yes, they are able to have another meeting. I think that's the best outcome you can expect. But I'll talk about that more in a moment when we get onto the charts and look at what's going on in the markets. But now let's think about the competition. By the way, this is only meant for education and, is it entertainment? I'm not sure. I think I say that every week. Entertainment and education. It's not investment advice. Don't go and buy what I say, and don't go and sell what I say. I've got a view on oil, WTI, which is tying into the Putin-Trump meeting today. I'll talk about that in a minute. Don't go and do what I say in oil this afternoon because of what I say. I'm not trading it myself on what I think will happen. I'm a technical trader. I only trade the technicals. And trading is not all about one call, one trade, one Forex signal. Trading is about what you do over the long haul, over the large sample of trades over the course of the year, not one trade. So anyone that's copying what I do or what I say, you're basically not doing it the right way around. I think you're more likely to be gambling. Right. Okay. So here is the prize quick trivia. I've got to get out the form as well. There is the form. Okay, so I'm going to ask 3 questions. I'll leave the questions up until the bottom of the hour. I'll close it just before the announcement, which will come out of the squawk Remember, not a big market mover. We'll see. And then I'll drop the form in, and the first one to get all 3 answers correct will win the $12,500 experienced program. Okay, so get your answers written down, and then once I drop the form, you can drop them in. Okay, first question: what does retail sales measure? What does retail sales measure? Next question: what's the difference between retail sales and core retail sales? And the third question today is going to be, think about this one, retail sales, a weak number, weak retail sales should lead to high inflation. Is that statement true or false? So weak retail sales should lead to high inflation, true or false? Please don't drop your answers here in the chat because you will be disqualified. Okay, so there are the 3 questions. I'll reveal the answers after the announcement at the bottom of the hour, and I'm now going to drop the form in so you can get your answers onto the form for me to check. So this should be the form. There you go. So that's the form. Just dropped it in there now. So get your answers in as fast as you can, but it's all about being accurate as well. No point being fast if you haven't got the answers correct. If you need to, I'm sure some of you out there chat GPTing it. Well, that's fine. I mean, I don't care how you get your answers, but fastest, obviously, a person that doesn't have to rely on ChatGPT or Google, then is going to be faster. But there you are. That's if you've listened to what I said in the first 5 minutes, you've got all the answers in there anyway. If you haven't listened, well, then you might have to ChatGPT it. Okay, so yeah, Trump. It's all about Trump, isn't it? This afternoon, I'll tell you what I think about. This is my little call. Like, this is just, we'll talk about the currencies in a moment, but this is my little call for the meeting this afternoon, this evening. And I'm really looking at oil, WTI, West Texan. I am not trading this. I want to say that quite clearly. But oil prices have basically been sold off recently. Well, they've been sold off for a number of reasons. Let me just put the 4 hour down there. Sorry, I want to have the 4 hour up there. That's how I normally do it. Someone's been messing around with my screens. And the daily comes down in the bottom right. That's where I normally have them. So oil has been coming off, as you know. There's a likelihood of oversupply this year. It's been the IEA and various organizations have talked about oversupply. So oil has definitely come down for some fundamental reasons. But another reason why it's come down, really accelerated, is because of the arrangement of this meeting. Okay, they are expecting, obviously, if there's an agreement, ceasefire in Ukraine, then it's likely that Trump will not put any further tariffs on Russian oil. Like at the moment, he's threatening to put on tariffs on Russian oil if there's not a ceasefire. So that would obviously, increase more supply, and that obviously would have prices move lower. My prediction is that today's meeting isn't going to go very well at all. I think it's not going to be favorable to a ceasefire, and I think with that you're going to get Trump on his social medias soon after saying this is not good. No need for a second meeting. I mean, there might be one down the line, but this is immediately afterwards when the cooling down after maybe. And with that, he will threaten tariffs. And I think you'll see oil pop higher. So after today's meeting, this is my prediction, and I'm not trading it. Okay, I'm not trading this prediction at all. It's purely a fundamental view, and I don't trade intraday charts with fundamental views. I trade intraday charts with technical analysis. I trade what I see happening as opposed to what I think will happen. Same as when I was in the trading pits in the city of London many years ago. if Goldman Sachs was coming into the trading pit and he was going buy them, buy them, buy them, well, I was going to buy them. If Bill Lynch came in and said sold, 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 well, I was going to try and sell some. I don't trade what I think Goldman Sachs are going to do. I don't trade what I think JP Morgan's are going to do. I trade what they are doing. And I trade what the markets are telling me, the charts are telling me. So there you are. We've got potential for oil to pop higher after today's meeting. The only thing against that, of course, is that there is potentially, quite a lot of oversupply, down the line. Anyway, that's just my view for what it's worth. Let's have a look. We've got a few questions, got a few answers coming in. Let's just have a look. I won't go through all the answers just yet because people are still dropping there. I can see some people have literally used ChatGPT because there's wordings of sentences which are exactly the same as each other from a few of you. So there you are. I'll come to those questions answers later, but get your answers in. You've still got your time to get your answers in. There you are. I'm a farmer. Please help me. I'm not money for trading, but I have strategy to go. Please help me. Unfortunately, I can't do that. Just you've got a chance to win a prize, Ravi. You do this a couple of times a week. If you want to get involved, you're just as entitled to win as anyone else. Get your questions in, get your answers in, and if you win, then you get a free assessment account. So there you are. Good luck with that. Everyone's dollar. Okay. So what else is going on in the markets? Right, we are seeing the US dollar has been in steady decline. US dollars at the moment is having a bit of a pop higher. Okay, this is the green line. Always hear me talk about the green line. That's the greenback. That is the US dollar. So dollar is having a bit of a pullback earlier on, yesterday and so forth, but now it's continuing on its downtrend. And you look at the euro dollar, it's euro dollar actually. And the pound. The pound has won this week. It's only coming off at the moment. I don't know if it's been a profit taking. We had some growth figures out today. I think we had some growth figures out today in the UK, which weren't particularly good, if I'm not mistaken. Just put up that. Did we have something out in the UK? I'm sure we did this morning. Oh, gosh, maybe it was yesterday. Some not very strong growth figures out yesterday, which maybe derailed sterling a little bit. But sterling's been really quite strong, certainly since the last MPC meeting, Bank of England meeting last week, where they moved interest rates lower, but basically indicated that they're not going to be moving rates again for the time. So pound is quite a strong currency. The dollar is quite a weak currency. So pound dollar has been a fantastic currency pair in terms of the uptrend more recently. You've seen that here. This is cable. Okay, being a little playground really for trend followers. And we spoke about it. If you're following the chat in the Discord yesterday, we got into an all important level. I always say, if you follow me at all, if you follow me in my teachings, I talk about what I call roadblock resistance and roadblock support, that you never buy into these levels. And boy, is this a big level. This level here that you saw, I basically keyed in since 23rd of July on the 4-hour chart. It's basically led to pound collapsing almost over 3.5% almost. And we've sort of slowly been grinding back up there. Well, I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to know that when you get back up here, there is going to be a good chance that there's going to be resistance. Now, we don't know what's up here. We do not know if there's liquidity. We do not know if there are orders up here. We have to rely on the price action to tell us if that is indeed the case. So if you trade my boomerang reversal strategy on the lower time frame charts, looking at the higher time frame levels, you'll see here on the 1-hour chart, we attempted to push to those levels. We had a pullback to here. Then we had another go, and that failed miserably before it took out this high. That there, if you follow my boomerang, is an indication of break of structure to the downside. I've drawn that around the wrong way, actually. It should be, let me start that again. So basically, the break of structure, this high, pull back to this high, fails to take out the new high. That zone there is a break of structure. If you're trading my boomerang reversal strategy, and I spoke about it yesterday in the Discord, if anyone's following us there in the private members area as well as the public area, that this is a key level. This zone, break of structure at 135.20, basically has led to all this big move lower. And now we are looking, I beg your pardon, this is I was looking back too far there. This is the test, pulls back, break of this structure here, that leads potential for that to trade lower. So cable, I'm a trend follower, love to follow trends, but certainly have a strategy in my tool bag which will allow me to take on reversal trades if price action warrants it. Okay, we've got about 8 minutes to go. A few answers are coming in now. Just having a quick look at the answers. I just have to, because obviously people have written down different things here. Okay. Right. We've got so I'm just looking at the answers here. Okay. Okay, we do have a correct answer. So we will announce that just after the announcement at the bottom of the hour. But I do have a correct answer in there now. I'm not sure if you've won before, but you got the answer in there pretty quick as well. Although you've ticked, unfortunately, you didn't want to receive emails, so I don't know how that's going to work. Right, okay. Let's have a look at what else we're looking at. Dollar yen. Yen has been a reasonably strong currency. Yen basically had some Japanese had some really strong export numbers out overnight. Export numbers, despite the fact that Trump is basically putting tariffs on Japan, but the export numbers are still quite strong. Japanese inflation is still sort of like petering up there. So the Japanese currency is benefiting quite a lot at the moment from the dollar weakness and its own domestic stuff. So let's have a look at dollar yen. Is anything going on in dollar yen for us? Okay. You've got dollar yen daily chart. Always look at the roadblock resistance. At the moment we've gone into consolidation, haven't we, really? So let's just take this off here.
Trump on steel and chips tariff says the rate is going to be lower at the beginning.
So if these numbers come in lower than expected and we see a dollar weakness, I think trading dollar weakness potentially against yen strength is possibly, well, it's better than trading against the commodity currencies. These commodity currencies are under a little bit of pressure at the moment, but trading against the yen, trading dollar against the yen is most probably the preferred approach. So now we've had this almost attempt to take these highs again. It's failed out pretty miserably. I think this 4-hour price action is pretty bearish for the dollar yen. We've hit this big high, pulls back pretty aggressively, stagnates for a while, then goes again, doesn't even get near the previous equity high, pulls back. This high fails again to take it. I think a break of structure around these zones is most probably not a bad little trade for into next week. Dollar weakness, yen strength, which we'll see, stops really above, I think 180, 148.50. You could target. Well, you could target.
Range of 1.4 to 0% expected. Retail sales year on year. Prior rate of 3.5.
You could take this. Take this down to where's our target? Do you think 140, 142, 143?
and export prices forecast 0.1% and the prior 0.5%. We also get the New York Fed manufacturing for August forecast
Stops above previous height, which would take you up to there, down to 143. You get a 2 to 1 on that one. I think to be safe, you can have stops above 148.20, I think, and trading that low. Again, this is on soft numbers, general dollar weakness, which is basically pretty prevalent at the moment anyway, and the yen strength. At some point, the Japanese currency is going to have to start thinking about, rates going higher, although they've been resisting it over there for a while. There is a massive amount of carry trade to unwind. Look at this. I mean, I've talked about this for pretty much all of this year, really. If you see where dollar was against the Japanese yen when it all started off, we were down around the 1.15 level. Okay, so it's just that's why I've got this drawn in, actually, this chart, because this Fibonacci thing, this 50% retracement tool, this high interest in the US, low interest in the Japanese yen, basically saw the dollar yen rise from about 115 all the way up to 160. Now you're seeing interest rates going the other direction, rates coming down in the US and potentially up in Japan. There's a big reason for reversal of that trade down to 136, 100,000 pips from here. Are we going to hit? Well, we're bang smack in the middle at the moment. Are we going to hit 136, or are we going to re-challenge 161? How can we challenge 161 again? I mean, how can we possibly think about getting back up there?
Trump says Putin's country is not doing well economically. So Trump is currently speaking to reporters on Air Force One. Again, no live video that we can find.
All right, Trump's on Air Force One on his way to Alaska, and he's chatting to reporters about the economic problems that Russia are facing. So maybe he's teeing up there for where he's coming from. We've got about 2 minutes. Let me just get our winner sorted out, and I'll divulge it after the stream. There we go.
Something will come out of the Putin meeting.
Something will come out of the Putin meeting, right? So he's on the wires now. I say this is going to be more. I think this is going to be much more relevant today than what you're going to see out of this retail sales numbers, which I don't really think is a much of a move at all. While we're looking at that, let's have a look at the euro dollar, because that obviously is the sort of the main currency that most traders are trading these days. It accounts for about 35% of all retail forex.
Trump says China's not doing well economically.
Oh, no one's doing actually well economically for as far as Trump's concerned. Did he look at his job numbers last week? Does he look at his inflation numbers? Inflation at 2.7% in the US. Unemployment's at 4.2%.
Trump says with Europe there's a possibility of US guarantees to Ukraine.
Okay, he's giving away a few of his secrets now.
Data. I'll lead with retail sales month over month.
Okay, retail sales month over month is coming out first. We're going for up 0.6, and the core is going to be.
Ukraine wants to negotiate.
And core retail sales up 0.3. So let's have a look. Selling dollar, yeah. Here we go. We got about 30 seconds. As always, my live score is live for me, but it's not live for you. Mazar, goody. Yes, I remember you. How you doing? How you getting on with the props? You passed one of my props a while back, didn't you? Good to see you again.
Seconds.
Right, here we go. Let's have a look.
Trump says we'll be setting tariffs on steel and chips.
The numbers are going to be
0.5%, 0.5% lower than forecast, 0.6%. Core retail sales, 0.3% as expected. New York Fed manufacturing, 11.9. 11.
So retail sales are coming in line with expectations. Let's go down to the 1 minute chart to see how the dollar's performing. Only to see how it performs.
Trump
And
says the tariffs on chips will be low at the beginning, then very high.
now, so dollar's getting a little. Well, no, it's not doing anything, is it? 1685. No, it's not going to move. It's literally not moving. Anyone that's trading this is on that number is no better than gambling. And there are people out there trading it now, I can assure you. Just on that number. You can see because it's all ticked up quickly. Now the dollar's getting a little bit stronger. I mean, I personally think that the number is actually quite good, isn't it? I mean, retail sales, still showing quite, strong growth despite the tariffs. Reason for that possibly is the fact that people have been preloading, buying their goods and services ahead of the tariffs. So that's maybe a reason why the retail sales are quite strong. Oh, now look. So now we are seeing a bit of a movement. What is it?
Sales year over year at 3.9.
10 pips.
As well. Short-term
10 pips dollar strength.
Lower after the economic data.
So a bit of dollar strength. So that basically means you're going to see stocks maybe come under a little bit of pressure.
Revisions to the prior as well. Retail sales month over month, prior revised up to 0.9% from 0.6%.
Oh.
Core retail sales revised up to 0.8% from 0.5%. And import prices revised down to minus 0.1% from 0.1%.
This is P500 on the 1 minute. Nothing going on there. I hate the 1 minute chart. Way too old for that these days. Okay, so let's have a look then at the quiz. Who got the questions right? Okay, so what does retail sales measure? And I see those that have basically chopped it into chat because they're all the same answers. I got a lot of answers saying retail sales measure the total revenue generated by retail stores from the sale of goods and services. I mean, that is a ChatGPT answer. Isn't it easier just to say it measures consumer spending in your own words? But yeah, it measures the total value of goods sold by retailers of consumers. Okay, retails, that's a ChatGPT answer. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You got the answer right. You got the answer right. There you go. What's the difference then between retail sales and core retail sales? Okay, so the difference between the two, and the core retail sales are the ones that economists and the Fed look at more. Core retail sales removes the volatile components, which in the US is autos, and I did mention that before before I dropped the question. So it measures, strips out seasonal variables. Not good enough on that one, Phil. Retail sales, core retail sales, both measure. Hang on, I've got to check that. Yes, okay. Yeah, I'm going to go with people that haven't basically just cut and pasted the answers. I mean, someone says here, core retail sales excludes more volatile categories like automobiles, gasoline, building materials, and food and services. Did you really write all that yourself? Yeah. What's it do? It cuts out autos. Simple as that. Yeah. It's just takes out the autos, which accounts for actually for about 20% of retail sales. And autos obviously quite volatile, and also it's a big ticket item. People don't go out and buy cars, as a matter of their weekly shop, do they? Or their grocery, or their food shopping, or their clothes shopping. They buy these seasonally, times of the year, bonus time, and so forth. So it strips out autos. Weak retail sales should lead to higher inflation. Of course, that is incorrect, isn't it? High retail sales means people are spending money. People are spending money, prices go up. If prices go up, inflation goes up. That's basically what it is. So the answer is false. Weak retail sales, that's when no one's spending any money. That basically means it's unlikely that prices will go up because of the weak number. They might go up for other reasons like tariffs and so forth. But the fact that the retail sales are weak doesn't lead to higher inflation. Absolutely not. So congratulations to all our winners. I think we've got 4 winners in total. But the first winner that came in and literally won it by 19 seconds. So you won it by quite a lot. 19 seconds was the winner. And the winner goes to, on this occasion, boom. So congratulations to Ola Honchar. Ola Honchar. So congratulations to you. You've won yourself a $12,500 assessment account. Okay, so there you have it. Congratulations. Right, so what does it, how will it affect the dollar? How does it affect this number?
Comments from Fed Scoresby now as they appear on CNBC.
I don't think it affects the dollar at all.
Picture has been mixed.
I don't think it affects the dollar. I mean, the dollar's getting a little bit stronger at the moment. I think maybe because of the revisions. Revisions from last month came in a lot stronger than expected, which means, it basically means that the if the numbers are really weak, the Fed are going to be more pushed to cut interest rates. Yeah, they're going to cut interest rates anyway next month, so I don't really think it affects it. I think our next number that we need to be focusing on really is
they're saying the latest PPI and CPI inflation data has a note of unease.
Yeah, so the inflation data, is maybe more sort of a bit more relevant. So there you are, Ola. Congratulations to you. I'll send you an email or get the team to send you an email later with your coupon code, so you can get your hands on the prize. $12,500 on the experienced program. Okay, well, congratulations. Well done to all those. Also, they got it right, but just a little bit slower.
Again, see if we're on track.
I think in future, I'm not going to allow. I don't mind you getting the answers for ChatGPT, but just cutting and pasting it is not going to work from now on. But I'll mention that at the next stream. You need to put it into your own words, so that I know you've understood it. The point of this is to get you to not to just to win a prize, but to understand what these data points are. Just to say retail sales measure the total value of goods and services sold by retailers. It's cut and paste, and I don't think that's in the spirit of it, really. But okay, we'll sort that out next time. All right. Well, look, it's going to be a quiet afternoon. I think I'm ahead of the meeting this afternoon, so I'm going to jump off now. It's also 29 degrees in here at the moment, so I'll jump off there. I'll be on live on Monday to do the week ahead live stream, where we do Guess the Gold, which is going to be obviously closing in about 4 hours' time, the gold price. So we'll be looking at this week's winner very soon. So join me on Monday. Okay, I haven't got much of a view on the dollar today. I think it's all pretty much sideways move. I'm more interested in seeing what happens to the stocks and commodities with the Putin-Trump meeting later today. It could go horribly wrong. Trump says no, can't deal with that guy, and then in which case you're going to see oil prices shoot higher, I would have thought. Or he turns around and says, yes, we've got a deal. Not a deal, but with something worth working with. Then you can see oil collapse and stocks go higher. Stocks will do better if there's a peace deal, clearly. Taking all that unnecessary spending away, poor casualties, stocks will go higher if there is a peace deal. So it's an important meeting. It's mostly the biggest event. Biggest event certainly of this week, including CPI. So keep an eye on it. If you're trading over the weekend, you most probably are, well, you're up to a bit of high risk weekend, I would have said, because it could go either way. If he starts, I don't know what time the meeting is, but where's Alaska? Alaska is, I think it's 8 hours behind here. So they're meeting this afternoon. So that won't be until maybe the markets are closed. So the big decisions big moves will happen maybe on Monday, especially if he tweets over the weekend or X's over the weekend. Do you tweet on X or do you X on X? Is it still tweeting on Twitter or how does that work? Paul West, no problem, Paul, no problem. Thank you for the informative session. No problem at all. I'll check out what you said there and send you an email that's the case. Although if you tick don't receive emails, it's gonna get through eventually. I should think. Right, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you on Monday. Have a good rest of the week.